As we look into multiplying polynomials, the one word we need to know, distribute. Now, when we talk about the distributive property, and we're going to talk about this a lot, in fact, all of next week is going to be the undistributed property, as we call it. Just like last class, when I take this 5x and I multiply it across, when I think of 5x times 3x squared alone, this is exactly what we did last class, where I have my two coefficients, meaning multiplication, 15, multiply your coefficients. I have x times x squared. Well, remember, x squared means two of them. X means 1. Altogether, x cubed, 3 of them. This is when I add my exponents. And that's pretty much all we're going to need to know as far as multiplying polynomials. Distribute as multiplying the coefficients and adding the exponents. 5 times negative 2, negative 10. X times x, x squared, right? 5x times negative 2x, negative 10x squared. 5x times 3, 15x. There's my answer. Now, forgot to put the squared. X times x, x squared. We would combine like terms if necessary. No like terms here. We're officially done. And you'll notice inherently it is order of descending power to 1 constant. All I'm doing is basically just adding 1 each time because that's what it's going to be. Now, it will depend on what the other exponents are, but let's look at what happens if I have a binomial times a binomial. Once again, binomial because they're each those two terms. When I distribute, and it is just distribute, I'm going to distribute the x all the way across. I'm going to distribute the 5 all the way across. Now the shortcut name we have is when we have x times x, it is x squared, but notice, for each binomial, it's the first two terms in each of the binomials. When I distribute the x times the negative 4, I get a negative 4x, but notice, in terms of the binomials, there they are on the outside two terms. I'm going to distribute the 5 all the way across, meaning 5 times x is 5x, but notice, they're the inside two terms of this product of binomials. 5 times negative 4, negative 20. Now, I want to emphasize because all of next unit, as simple as it is to say 5 times negative 4, when I say negative 20 here because they're different signs, next term, that's going to be the first thing that we're going to look at is when we're unfoiling, I'm going to look at what made that negative was different signs. But we'll talk about that next unit. Right now I have combining my like terms. I have a negative 4x and a 5x. Add the coefficients. Variable and exponent stay the same. Plus, and I could put plus 1x, but remember I wouldn't want that plus 1. It wouldn't be fully simplified. Plus x would be all we'd have. Now again, as simple as it seems right now, the reason that's plus is because it's assigned a bigger number. Those are going to be the first things that we key off next unit. We'll see that next week. Well, what if I had 2x plus 3, a binomial, times x minus 7, a binomial? When I FOIL here, 2x times x, 2x squared. 2x times negative 7, negative 14x. Right? Positive times a negative. 3 times x, 3x. 3 times negative 7, negative 21. Now when we combine our like terms, again, take the sign of the bigger number. I have a 2x squared as my degree, my leading coefficient. Take the sign of the bigger number, negative 11x. Minus 21, order of descending power. Now, to set up well for next week, notice again, what we're going to be doing is this backwards. Right now, when we FOIL these out, these are going to get pretty quick and pretty easy once you get used to some of these in the homework. But next class, what we're going to be doing is starting here and working backwards. And it's going to be those signs that tell us everything. We'll learn a method. When we see this next week, so much as having that 2 in front is what's going to cause a lot of headaches for us. But again, we'll have a whole different procedure. Our answer next week is going to be what we start with. So if you want to get more prepared for next week, the more of these problems that you distribute and combine, the more apparent things are going to stand out as we prepare to undistribute these, or factor as we're going to call it later.